You mentioned Caleb Plant. I don't know if you've been on your Twitter notifications yet, but he did put out a tweet today. Let's show you what he said as he was watching you fight. This is the something who's supposed to beat me up.
Yeah,
Laughing face.
This guy just tweets every day. You know, he's like a woman on Twitter. You know what I mean? I don't pay too much attention to that.
I'll try not to take offense to that, David, but okay.
But when I
mean.
fight, you've seen when I fought today, you know, the people went crazy. People want to see me fight. You know, people don't want to see him fight. He's boring.
It's interesting, Ray, because I was sitting next to you as we were watching David fight, and you said this would be a very bad, talking about David, this would be a very bad fight for Caleb Plant. That's your opinion.
You know, Caleb is top of his game. He's a terrific boxer. You know, but size-wise, I just think David is a headache for anybody. I'm saying, you know, he would beat Caleb. With all respect, Caleb's a hell of a fighter, hell of a champion. Style-wise, you know, it's a bad style, I think.
At the end of the day, I would put my record up against anybody out, you know, because I believe in my skills a lot. But even if you take a loss, it's not the end of you. Canelo lost against Mayweather, he made him a better fighter. Barrera lost against Pacquiao, he still came back, you know, multiple world champions. So I feel like people, these fighters, they just need to fucking grow a pair of balls and just get in there.
A few moments later.
But I am going to ask you, David Benavidez was ringside for your fight.
He was watching me, huh?
Why are you gay?
He was.
He was. So I spoke to him before
You are gay.
your fight.
Yeah.
His words to me were that you are a pussy and that your interviews are more entertaining than your fights. That was before the fight, right?
Yeah.
I feel like after the fight, he would have had a totally different opinion or just words to speak on. Can we see that fight this year? I know you want it. I know that you want it. That's no question. You wanted it before you were champion. You want it now that you're champion. That's not the question.
Well, I want to fight a mandatory or a world champ. Is he either one of those?
He is not. No sir.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure.
A few moments later.
You know, this title defense that you have against your opponent, he's from Germany. Not a lot is known about him. Have you had a chance to kind of like check him out? Because I tried to find clips last night of him, and I couldn't find a lot of things.
Yeah, there's quite a bit on YouTube. He's been the WBA interim champ. You know, he may not be as well known in America, but as I said, he's the WBA. He's been the WBA interim champ. That's a lot more than some of the names that we know on a regular or hear about on a regular basis. That's a bigger accomplishment than a lot of those guys.
A few moments later.
You want to crown them, then crown their ass.
No.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
He's you know, he may not be as well known in America, but as I said, he's the WBA. He's been the WBA interim champ. That's a lot more than some of the names that we know on a regular or hear about on a regular basis. That's a bigger accomplishment than a lot of those guys.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
So.
What do you make of the reaction from fans about this opponent? I know a lot of people wanted to see you fight a bigger name opponent, and they're hoping for bigger fights in the future. But what do you make of the reaction they had for this opponent?
I mean, I'm not sure.
How dare you?
I won the belt. You could do,
Son of a bitch.
you know, we did a voluntary defense, so fought Mike Lee, came down from 175. He's not a world champion, and he's not a mandatory, so.
A few moments later.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. Gotcha,
And so
bitch.
now I have to do my mandatory. Another strong guy, a lot of wins, a lot of knockouts, a lot of experience. So I'm not really sure how the fans feel about it or what they think, but if they know anything about boxing, then they should know what a mandatory is.
They smell like a bag of bullshit!
David Benavidez was ringside for your fight.
He was watching me, huh?
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
He was.
He was. So I spoke to him before
You are gay.
His words to me were that you are a pussy and that your interviews are more entertaining than your fights. That was before the fight, right?
Yeah.
I feel like after the fight, he would have had a totally different opinion or just words to speak on. Can we see that fight this year? I know you want it. I know that you want it. That's no question. You wanted it before you were champion. You want it now that you're champion. That's not the question.
Well, I want to fight a mandatory or a world champ. Is he either one of those?
He is not, no sir.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure.
A few moments later.
You want to sound like the asshole and motherfucker!
Caleb Truax, he's a great guy. I'm pretty sure he's a nice guy. It's just that he was fighting a title eliminator against Perro Angulo, and he didn't even make it to the fight. I think he passed out. He was dehydrated or something.
How dare you! Motherfucker!
And he was at my fight watching me, right?
He was at your fight watching you.
And who was I fighting? The boogeyman?
As they said before you fought him.
Okay, before I fought him. All right.
Okay, so Caleb would lead you guys to believe that Jose Utakagi was this boogeyman that he got his IBF belt off of. But let's really take a look at this guy. Does this motherfucker look like a boogeyman to you? And really pay attention to his record right here. Does any of this shit, does any of it at all say boogeyman all over this motherfucker?
You just hit with a wow
I think
effect.
not, man. It's a whole lot of cat, bro.
Fuck you.
You making me mad.
A few moments later.
We did a voluntary defense, so fought Mike Lee, came down from 175.
I just making sure. So he's not a world champion, he's not a mandatory. So
And motherfucker!
until then, it's easy to talk from the sidelines, but who came back after a year layoff with a broken hand, no tuna fight, and said put me in the trenches? Who fought Ronald Graville for a world title? Who fought Ronald Graville for a world title? And who fought the boogeyman of the division for a world title?
I gotta ask him.
Boy! You might as well kill the boogeyman talk in comparison because that shit means absolutely nothing. Boy! He already said he's not fighting anybody besides the champion or a mandatory, but taking on Caleb Trax isn't fighting a champion or a mandatory, and talking about Jose Utakagi isn't no great feat, bro.
The title eliminator against Perro Angulo, and he didn't even make it to the fight. I think he passed out. He was dehydrated or something.
Bruh. So we already know it's a bunch of smoke and mirrors with this bullshit. It's time to hold this clown feet to the fire, bro. It's time to get busy, sweet hands. Can't act like, because you only got 20 fights in, this and that, blah, blah. You just need to put in some work, bro. Put in some work. And there is a guy. And I think you and David Benavidez should fight, and considering that's the easiest fight to make, considering both of y'all are on your quote-unquote same side of the street, I think that's something that y'all motherfuckers need to make happen.
You're gonna start to ask yourself, could I really take him? Am I really good enough? Do people really think I'm a cheap carbon copy or a second-rate pretender?
You asked for the shot at the title. He wasn't really giving you the time of day. So now the shoe's on the other foot, and you're paying him back.
Fight fans, once again, this is the age of spin, and I'm not going to sit up here and let Fight Hype try to breeze by and try to say that Caleb Plant's paying him back because when David Benavidez had the title, he wasn't giving him the time of day. I do believe 2 years ago, David Benavidez told him, when you get your IBF, I'll knock your whole block off. And if y'all don't remember, it goes a little something like this.
A few moments later.
When he gets his IBF title, I'm gonna take it from him. Every time you fight somebody, they say you don't hit hard. I put people in the hospital. That's what I do. Let me tell you something.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
I'm his manager.
Absolutely. That's his dad too.
The contract. We want to fight you.
Sweet.
Man, that would be a great fight.
Absolutely.
Look, this is one of the greatest offensive boxers in all of boxing right now.
Gotcha, bitch. Is that part of it? It's not even paying him back. I'm in my lane running my own race. As Jordan always tells me, Jordan Hardy always tells me, keep your blinders on.
JP.
When at the horse races they got blinders on, right? It's because they're not worried about the other horses. They're supposed to be running their race. Running my race.
I like to.
A few moments later.
Social media, I want to know if you still mean it. If you do, then if you win the lottery again and beat him, then not only will I pay Jose Ushigaki the step aside money, but I'll give you my purse. And if you don't believe me, I'll put that on my daughter. And if you win, since you laughing, if you can stick to your promise, I'll smack you too.
How are you feeling today? Big night of boxing. You called out the girl. He ran towards you.
He didn't run towards me. If that motherfucker would have gotten armed, just how I smacked shit at him. I was talking to Caleb Truax. Caleb Truax has some things to say about me.
Well, considering this interview is 2 years too late and the man just passed out in August fucking trying to fight Alfredo Wangulo, what the fuck are you doing trying to fight him now? Let me stay in my lane.
James Gale started laughing. I said, I don't know why you laughing. I'll smack you too. And then he just loses it.
A few moments later.
Yeah. Hey. Calvin, get somebody. Calvin, send somebody. These niggas crazy.
I'll smack you too.
The focus is Saturday night.
Come on over here.
Saturday night. We can deal with all that later.
You guys need to go back on the stage, mate. Back on the stage, mate.
A few moments later.
Have you ever seen a man get so upset over another fighter calling him out? Have you?
Nope.
Ellie's shaking his head no. He's shaking his head no.
A few moments later.
You want to fight a mandatory or a world champ? Is he either one of those?
He is not, no sir.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure. And he was at my fight watching me, right?
He was at your fight watching you.
And who was I fighting? The boogeyman?
As they said before you fought him.
Okay, before I...
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
And he's got his own fight to worry about. He's losing all his adrenal glands is drained just from the press conference. For what? Because I say I want to fight him?
A few moments later.
You want to fight the best.
I just want to fight the best. Not because I think I'll beat them all. It doesn't matter if I think I'll beat them all. I want to prove to the world deserves to know who's the best and who's not.
And if he refuses, then you gotta insult him. You gotta dog him. You gotta humiliate him. You gotta do whatever you got to do to get him into that ring. But that's what you got to do.
Yeah, David, we're in Big Bear, California. You're getting ready for your next fight. Why do you think Caleb Plant got the other fight and did not take the David Benavidez fight?
Obviously, it's easier.
A few moments later.
True. Now, speaking of one of the best, David Benavidez, 168 WBC champ. Would that be a good fight for you, Caleb?
Absolutely. Come on, man.
Let's talk. Let's make this fight happen. Look at my skills.
This is two of the youngest dudes in the whole division, and neither one of us are scared of nobody.
Gotta fight everybody.
I know you want to fight me.
Yeah, of course I want to fight you.
You think I want to fight you?
Of course you want to fight me.
Absolutely. But it's the other things. They trying to build us up, right? I get that.
When he gets his IBF title, I'm going to take it from him. You know, every time he fights somebody, they say you don't hit hard. I put people in the hospital. That's what I do.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
Fired! Shots fired!
When he gets his IBF title, I'm going to take it from him. You know, every time he fights somebody, they say you don't hit hard. I put people in the hospital. That's what I do.
Holy fucking shit!
I'm his manager.
Absolutely.
That's his dad too.
The contract, you know, we want to fight you.
Sweden.
Man, that would be a great fight.
Absolutely. It's great. Look, this is one of the greatest offensive boxers in all of boxing right now.
Respect.
But you're also looking at one of the greatest defensive boxers in all of boxing.
Respect. Say that, man.
So this is a stylistic matchup that the people want to see, and it's coming to you. He wants to give it to you. I want to give it to you. But it don't happen overnight. I understand the man want me to get the IBF next. I have to wait my turn like everybody else. There's a season for everything. I understand that. I've been waiting patiently, but I want it. He know I want it.
A few moments later.
See that fight this year? I know you want it. I know that you want it. That's no question. You wanted it before you were champion. You want it now that you're champion. That's not the question.
Well, I want to fight a mandatory or a world champ.
Check my mental fortitude. So.
Can't wait for that fight.
I'm telling you, I get my hand raised.
Bruh.
So remember this interview. David started boxing to lose weight, and he wound up being pretty good at it and stuck around. Don't get it twisted. David started boxing to lose weight. He was good, and he stuck around.
That's not true! So get your facts straight. And I hope someday you have a child and somebody downgrades them and belittles them, and you have to look them in the eye and say, you know what? It's okay. They're supposed to be mature adults, but they're really not. Who's the kid here? Who's the kid here? Are you kidding me? That's all I got to say. It makes me want to puke.
How dare you!
At the end of the day, I know he's hoping and praying I don't make 168, so I don't fight him, you know what I mean? But, you know, I'm definitely going to make 168 for him. I'll make it sweet for him.
Well, Caleb, if he's all the things you say he's not, then why don't you just make the motherfucking fight and stop dodging that shit like Neo in the Matrix? That part.
Fair, you know, I didn't lose the fight. I didn't lose the fight at all. You know, I lost the title, but I still, you know, I gave a great fight, so why wouldn't you make David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant?
A few moments later.
I want to fight a mandatory or a world champ. Is he either one of those?
He is not, no sir.
Oh, okay.
I want that fight is because Caleb Truax, you know, he's a great guy. I'm pretty sure he's a nice guy. It's just that he was fighting a title eliminator against Pero Angulo, and you know he didn't even make it to the fight. You know, I think he passed out. He was dehydrated or something.
How dare you!
Gotta fight everybody.
I know you want to fight me.
Yeah, of course I want to fight you.
You think I want to fight you?
Of course you want to fight me.
Absolutely.
I mean, he acts like a nice guy without the camera. With the camera, he fucking grows a pair of balls. He thinks he's a killer in the ring. He's not. You can tell the people who have that type of style that only have 50%, 40% KO ratio always have the most to say. They always supposedly their balls hang the lowest in everybody, but that's only because they can't show that in the fights. They can't knock people out, so they try to be this tough guy demeanor out the ring. I don't gotta be tough for nobody. Everybody knows with me. I'm gonna fucking kill him.
And he was at my fight watching me, right?
He was at your fight watching you.
And who was I fighting? The Boogeyman?
We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in the preseason like it's bullshit? Bullshit. We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. That's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
It's because, you know, they're protecting Caleb Plant, and they don't want me to get to him. Everybody knows what I'll do if I get to him.
This is one of the greatest offensive boxers in all of boxing right now.
So I think, you know, that's my whole beef with that fight. But you know, it's everybody. I feel like everybody just wastes their turn. I guess. You know, Caleb Truax. You know, he's definitely. You know, I mean, he's a good person. So I think he does deserve that fight. But you know, I should definitely be in line to fight Caleb Plant next.
Now, David, this is why I highly agree. And fight fans, excuse me. This is why I highly disagree, David. And fight fans, this is why I highly disagree. Just because you're a good guy doesn't mean you deserve a fight. Look at this shit. This article is from August 28th, 2020. If you don't know, now you already know. And I'm sure you heard it in the clip before. The man dehydrated and passed out trying to fight Alfredo Angulo. So now it makes sense for him to take on the IBF super middleweight champion of the world. Come on, man. It ain't about guys being good guys and deserving fights. It's about the best fighting the best.
Hello.
We're gonna get back to that shit in 2021. Duck season and cap season is over.
I'm definitely gonna push for that fight. You know, so if I have to go through anybody in the top 10 or anybody in the top 5 in IBF, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Get in there. I'll fight whoever. I'll fight Berlanga if he wants to fight. I see him posting a lot about me, posting about the fight. You know, he wants to get that fight. I'll fight him.
Holy
yeah, I did reach out. My dad reached out to his manager. You know, but I'm not gonna put all that business out. You know, him and his manager know that we got in contact with them already. So whenever they want to get it, I'm here. You know, I'll fight anybody. I do not care. You know, I still have a lot of work to do at 168. I feel like I can beat everybody. And the fans, you know, they deserve these fights. So me and Caleb have been talking for fucking 4 years now, man. I feel like that fight needs to fucking happen already. I don't care if I don't have a belt. You know, I'm gonna get a belt still, but That fight needs to happen.
You want to fight a mandatory or a world champ? Is he either one of those?
He is not, no sir.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure.
What's up, fight fans? It's your man 3K the Boss, aka Mr. Two Hands Up. You already know what it is. All right, now I just took y'all through a whole, nostalgic path of flip-flopping. A nostalgic path of flip-flopping. And the reason why I did a whole bunch of flip-flopping because I wanted to show y'all all the contradictions in this game through a timeline. And I hope all y'all motherfuckers got it, man. Because look, man, there's a whole lot of smoke and mirrors going on with these motherfucking, these records. And we gotta start pulling motherfuckers up on that. Caleb Plant, I'm very high on his talent, but at the end of the day, this dude has done nothing, man.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
And this whole myth around Jose Utakagi need to stop. This guy's fought nobody. So if you're going to talk about David Benavidez and what he's done, my nigga, you on the same level playing field. But the difference is between you and him, he's a two-time super middleweight champion of the world. You know what I mean? You got one IBF belt. The fact is that people want to see this fight. We need to see this fight. All this cap and all of this, is he a champion or a mandatory? I thought you wanted it, bro. I thought you wanted it because he's saying that he definitely wanted it. And he's right. Motherfucking fighters' nuts need to drop. Need to start making these fights happen. I pretty much showed y'all everything I wanted to show y'all in the video. Hope y'all got it. You know what I mean? Had to take y'all through this whole path of flip-flopping. I had to, because enough is enough. We ain't doing this shit in 2021 no more. As we always say at the end of this shit, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. As a matter of fact, we gotta start paying these niggas some mind. More or less, we gotta start paying they records some mind, because there's some real suspect shit going on out here. Because if they top talent, we don't know. We really don't know, because the record don't tell us shit. And that 20-0 shit don't mean nothing because look at Ryan Garcia, look at Josh Taylor, and look at Teofimo Lopez. Enough said. Respect, though. It's the motherfucking boss.